Hello and welcome to our first of what we hope to be a regular video series of Splitgate dev updates. I'm Ben. I'm our community manager over at 1047, and I'm joined by Ian, our CEO. Hello, Ian.
Hello, hello.
Yes, so the goal of these is just to give you guys in the community a bit of a rundown on what we're working on currently, where we've been in the past week, what's coming in the future. So some things for us right away. We just had a hotfix go out last week with a few things. I'd say the one that tore the community apart in very dramatic fashion was this controversial Sabrask wall change. Well, controversial to some, but I do want to give a little background on why we've chosen to either completely obliterate this class and make it unplayable or make it more fair.
Hopefully more fair. Obviously, we're
Yeah.
we're always listening to feedback. We're looking at, what are players using? What are they gravitating towards? So fear not. If we have obliterated, it will change quickly. But I can talk about the motivation of it. So we have had a very interesting dilemma with Sabrask, where Sabrask seems to be like by far the most overpowered class for the top players, and by far the least overpowered or the most underpowered class for most players. And so, one of the ideas we had is, it's sort of frustrating when you flank somebody and they just take a step forward by 2 feet and now they're protected by the wall again. That's not fun to fight against. It's also not fun when I outplay you, I flank you, and it's like, well, that didn't do anything because he just took a step forward and he's just kind of hugging that wall. And so our thought was, we can kind of preserve for most players where it's just that one way, for 90% of use cases, it's still a one way, you're shooting, you get behind it. But for that top level play, you don't get the trolls of just kind of hugging the wall back and forth. That's just impossible to fight against. So that's the thinking. We're going to keep monitoring the feedback, right? Like it might change. And maybe the solution is we keep it like this, but we give it more health or make it,
Yeah.
a shorter cooldown. There's all sorts of knobs we can adjust. But we're keeping a close eye on it.
I'd say from my perspective, a little bit of it is the visual clarity of it too. Just kind of what you're describing with that wall dance. If you're inside the wall, sometimes it can be really obnoxious to even know if a shot's going to hit, if it did hit, because you're seeing
Totally.
somebody in or out of it. Like, oh, their ankle is just barely outside of it. That's hittable, but not whatever else. So I think this really enforces like you should be behind it, they should be in front of it. You could portal behind, still do your same stuff, but um, yeah. I'd say the other one that was very hotly requested, back and forth on this one from players who play the BR mostly, but we've gotten rid of the wall hacks when you kill an enemy. So now it's no longer going to
Yeah.
reveal the rest of their team through the walls. It's only going to be on the radar. So there's still an element of helping you track down the rest of the squad, but not literally revealing them, their health, quite as much information.
Honestly, I'm a huge fan of this change. Like I've been playing the last couple days. I'm like, wow, the pacing is so much better. I don't know why we didn't think of this earlier. The intent of seeing enemies through walls originally was, I mean, exactly that of like you kill someone, it's very easy to hide. It's a massive map. Like, how am I going to possibly chase down the rest of your team when I know you're going to respawn? Um, but I think, like you said, the radar gets us sort of the best of both worlds, where it gives the player that ability to hunt down the rest of the team. But it doesn't make it, cheap. It doesn't make it annoying where it's
Yeah.
just like, okay, you killed I'm just constantly visible through walls all the time because I have one dead teammate, right? So I think it's a healthy change. It's helped the pacing a lot from my point of view. From what I've seen so far, community seems to be really, really happy with the change.
Yeah.
But you'll have to keep telling us.
Yeah, I think like you said, there is a little bit of a difference for our BR versus some other ones in that like it really matters that you get that finishing hit on a squad versus something, like in Apex or Fortnite or something where like there's more, it's easier in our game to bring somebody back because there's that automatic respawn versus somebody
Yep.
having to go pick something up, go to a certain spot or just, go through some of those hoops. So I think I understood clearly why it was there, but I would say it plays pretty well. Um, with it gone, especially even in our
Totally.
Hunt the Devs battle
And I
royale
think it,
games,
I
it was
think it
pretty
makes
fun.
the end game also a lot more fun.
Yeah,
Like I'm finding from my games, you're just having more squads at the end. Prior, you'd have a lot of team wipes early where it's super fun, and then you get to the last circle, it's like 2 teams left, and that's not fun, right? You want that chaos, that intensity. So I think it just makes the game better in more ways than one.
It's so exciting too to be that person who is the last alive and gets to have that clutch moment of I portal away and they don't know
Yeah,
where
yeah.
I am. I have that like miraculous escape. My team's in the call, like freaking out, like we did it.
Yep, yep.
Um, Actually, no, that's not true. People will say this is actually just to prevent the one annoying random teammate you have in your squad from going, and dying and then losing it for you. So, for the solo queuers are excited about this.
Yes, definitely. That's totally true.
But anyways, looking ahead from last week's hotfix, we have a new update coming this week, which is even bigger than a hotfix. It is our first rollover from chapters. So we're finishing up chapter 1 of our very first season here from launch, and we're rolling into chapter 2 with some pretty major additions. The most two high-profile ones for sure that we've talked about being ranked, and then also mastery challenges for weapons and the mastery camos, mastery skins that are coming with that. You want to talk about ranked a little bit first?
Totally. I mean, I think, like you said, these are the two biggest things. And there's a lot more to this update. Actually, in particular, there are some major performance optimizations for Battle Royale. But in terms of ranked, we wanted to walk before we ran, right? So there's a reason that ranked didn't come out immediately. It's because we really wanted to get the balancing in a good place. We know how rage inducing it can be to like go up against a busted meta or whatever it is, right? So we wanted to get in a good place. We feel like things are pretty well balanced now. Of course, it's always going to change, and as soon as there's rank on the line, it's going to change a lot. But we feel like the balance is in a good place, and so we're starting with ranked arena. And obviously, we've seen a lot of requests for ranked everything, but we want to start small. Work out the kinks. There's totally going to be iteration on this. This is kind of V1 of what our ranked system is. And I'll say, coming from Splitgate 1, really the biggest difference is you don't just play your placement matches and then get placed and now you're in elo hell, which is such a common feeling from Splitgate 1 and other shooters. So the way that this ranking system works is you start at bronze and you climb your way up. Kind of brings back to me that old school like Halo 2, Halo 3, 1 to 50 ranking system where you got to start at the bottom and grind your way to the top. That's what we're going for here. So it's ultra competitive. It's all about wins, or I guess mostly about wins. We do take into account your individual performance a little bit, but the vast majority of this is, hey, it's ranked. It's all about competition. Who's going to win? Who's going to climb to the top? And then, of course, as you climb through those ranks at the top, you do have that top 100. So you can really show off if you are top 100 in the world, which I know I will be grinding and trying to hold on to top 100, which maybe if I get ahead of the curve, I'll get it early on, but I probably won't be able to hold on to it very long. But
Well, not with that attitude.
yeah,
Just one thing too on the note of performance versus the win. I know people will probably talk about that one quite at length because it's kind of a controversial thing of like how much agency should be on you versus the team. I would say I'm pretty happy with where it's falling for us now because I do think it's important, especially for our arena modes that are objective based, that you don't feel like
totally.
there's ever an incentive to just like farm kills the whole time, and then that's like what's going to drive it for me. Like even if we lose, I'm able to like get
Yeah,
around
and
a
it's
loss.
more
It's really trying to get you focused
totally.
on the win, the team play.
Yeah, and the way it works is if you win, you go up. If you lose, you go down.
Yeah.
It's more just individual performance might nudge you a little bit more up or a little bit more down, right? So if you're the best player on your team and you're carrying and you still lose, we're going to punish you a little bit less. And if you're winning and you dominate, like we're going to reward you a little bit more. But ultimately, if you win, you're going up. If you lose, you're going down.
And then just other housekeeping for ranked. That is something that you're going to unlock by playing. So that's unlocked by earning 100,000 experience in any of our other playlists. So those of you that have been playing already since launch, I'm sure you're probably well past that point already. So
Yep.
nothing new for you there. It's 3 of our core arena modes. It's split ball, firecracker, and hot zone. So no deathmatch and no domination, but everything else is there. All the same map pool carried right over. And then you do earn some really cool weapon charms based on the highest rank you achieve, which I think is great. So even if I grind all the way up to something pretty high, if Ian gets his top 100, but then unfortunately can't hold on to it the whole time, he would still be able to get his highest ranked charm, which is I think a good way of doing it.
Yeah. Takes a little bit of the pressure off.
Yeah. Cool. And then the other one coming is weapon mastery challenges. So, we're saying mastery challenges is the way you're unlocking these skins, these camos. You want to talk about these a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, this is something we actually had intended to have earlier, to be honest, and just with everything going on in beta, um, it did get pushed back a little bit. But we're really, really excited to have finally mastery challenges. I know I've been looking for something to grind for, and I think that's something where we probably missed the mark, to be honest, of like launching with just not enough earnable cosmetics for free, right? So, mastery challenges. There's carbon, there's gold, and then there's Proelium, the most sought after. Um, Carbon, I think you get by leveling up each gun all the way.
Yes.
Actually, I'm blanking on the exact rules. I know
It's
after
okay. I
that
have
you.
it.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so like you said, a lot of people are going to log in and they're going to instantly have a bunch of the carbon ones because that is unlocked by finishing all the unlocks for a weapon. So if I'm looking at the cadence and I've unlocked every attachment, everything there is to do along that path, I have carbon. Once you reach that first tier of carbon, that's where you unlock a mastery challenge for that gun. So you'd see a specific challenge that's set by category. So every assault rifle is going to have the same mastery challenge. Every burst rifle has the same one. But so that could be get a certain amount of double kills. It could be get a certain number of precision kills, headshot kills. You know, I love the heavy pistol challenge of having to get a certain number of kills while you're crouching or sliding. That's really fun.
Yeah.
So it's going to pop up that for you. Once you finish that mastery challenge, you've now gone from gold. You've unlocked the, or sorry, you went from carbon and then you've unlocked the gold camo for that one. And then the final one, the Proelium ones, those are a little bit more exciting for how you have to do it because you can't just go straight from that gold challenge to instantly get Proelium. You have to kind of establish your mastery of a faction's weapon set as a whole. So you have to first get to gold camos on 6 different
Oh,
weapons
that's
for
right.
that faction.
That's right.
So if we're using arrows, you know, it's also 5 other ones in addition to the cadence. Then once you have those 6 golds, then you unlock the Proelium challenges where you can get to that final
Yep.
tier by completing that. So that's, I think, a fun way of doing it. You know, you're not just purely grinding. It does incentivize you to still mix up a little bit more and play some variety. So I think they look very cool, and there's
I think they're
more
sick.
coming.
And that's what I was gonna say. You
Yeah.
know, just like with ranked, like this is step one. Our philosophy is we want to start getting things out based on your feedback as soon as possible, as sort of an MVP version one, and then we iterate on it, right? Like we could spend months developing the most complicated, perfect mastery challenges system, and then you're still going to tell us how to make it better because we need the community's feedback to guide us. And so our plan here is this is version one. It's got 6 skins, gives you plenty of reason to grind, but we're going to keep adding to it over years and years to come. So exciting though.
I'm looking forward to seeing what the next ones are. I have no clue what specifically those will look like, but I think the ones that are there do look cool. I'm almost sad the carbon is the first one because I think that the carbon skins look so cool. It's not, you know, quite as
They're
prestigious for
cool,
the
but
unlocked, but
I'm just
I
saying, like
of
gold and
course,
Proelium are on a different level than the carbon. The
I
carbon is
just
clean though.
I'm just saying I was surprised by how nice it looked for being tier one. You know, because normally I'm expecting tier one
Yeah.
is sort of you know, little bit. Now brush it aside because you're gonna get the other ones, but no, that one's legit. I can see people sticking with that, even though if you have the Proelium, you're gonna put that one on for sure. So you will see more of those this week ahead of that patch coming out. We have a video showing them all off, which should be out probably just a little bit after this video. And then there's going to be more in that. We don't have to run through absolutely everything in that patch. We'll have patch notes out on the day or by the time of the update coming out. There will be our new battle pass, some new sub drops that you can earn on Twitch, a lot of other stuff coming. I would say
I was gonna say we got a new simulation map as well.
yes.
We wanted to. We felt bad for all the takedown fans who were asking for ranked takedown. Um, Bear with us, like I said, starting with ranked arena, then we'll work out the kinks. But we do have something for you takedown fans. So we've got simulation. I believe it is simulation anomaly.
Anomaly.
Um, it's probably like our most chaotic, hectic simulation map yet, I would say. I'm a huge fan of it. It's got some verticality too, but I think fans are going to be big fans of this map.
As a person who's played a little, not a little, I'd say a fair amount of the battle royale. I would say another quiet addition in this update that I'm very excited about is the last man standing announcement now. So if
Yes,
you are
very, very
finally
much needed.
the last one alive, your teammates are going to know about it. Kind of going back to our conversation too about the wall hacks in BR and just that importance of like staying alive for your teammate to respawn. So I think that's a awesome addition.
Absolutely. And I mean, I called this out earlier, but the performance improvements are pretty
Yeah.
big for Hangman or for Battle Royale. um, but it just, well, to get into a little bit of the technical details, because of the complexity of this giant map of multiple maps, we sort of had to hack together a very old lighting solution called ILC. This is probably getting into the weeds, and I don't honestly fully understand how it works either. But somebody in the chat or in the YouTube comments will find this interesting. But we have now the graphics team, Wojciech, our amazing graphics engineer, has worked hard to switch the entire lighting solution of the battle royale to use the modern VLM, volumetric light map. So it makes everything run better. It makes everything look better, especially when it comes to like hitching near the world portals. That's a lot smoother. Just a much smoother experience overall, I would say.
Cool. Looking forward to playing more of that. And we won't spoil absolutely every balance change or small thing coming in the patch. You can check that out very soon. I would also say that in addition to some of our previous events that we've run, I know we had a ton of fun doing our Hunt the Devs last Friday and looking forward to the next one. There's going to be some other ones landing pretty shortly after this patch as well, including some, 4th of July festivities, which would be pretty fun. I don't need to give away every note on that, but is there anything specific you're looking forward to for events in the near future?
But I'm going to give a one specific thing
Okay, go for it.
on the 4th of July event because I think it actually it's not just about. I think the event is great
Yeah.
to be clear, but one of the things that we hear you loud and clear on is we want more portal walls, and so we figured for this 4th of July event, that's kind of the perfect opportunity for us to test this theory and see if this is trending in the right direction. So we've got a sort of 4th of July themed version of Bypass the map, but while we did that beauty pass and that reskin, we actually also added a number of additional portal walls. We added some launch portals, some giant portals up in the sky, more floor portals. So all the things that you loved from the first game, we've really done a big effort to make this map sort of a preview of hopefully what's more to come. But you'll have to let us know if you like the changes. Did we go too far? Did we add too much, or do we need to add more? But I'm excited to hear feedback on that, and I know the level design team would love to hear feedback on that as well.
I think they're going to be looking forward to that, but they should also look forward to the Fubar fireworks. That's what it's all about for sure.
Yes, definitely, definitely.
But that's most of what's coming in this next patch. I don't know, Ian, is there anything specific you wanted to share about, this last week of work from us or just what's coming up with the rest of this week?
I think we covered most of it. I mean, there's obviously tons of random bug fixes, optimizations, tweaks, which we'll include in the patch notes. But that's kind of the high level. I'd just say keep the feedback coming. Like, we really want to listen to your feedback. We want to take everything you guys are asking for and put it into this game. That's how we're going to make this thing work. So please keep the feedback coming. We really appreciate it. And we're going to keep listening.
Awesome. Well, I think that's everything we have for this first episode. I don't know if we're calling them episodes or not, but whatever this first one is,
Yeah,
we
the
will
first
catch you.
thing
First
of more
thing.
things.
We will
So,
catch you back for the second thing, hopefully very soon.
heck yeah.
All right, catch you later.